All right, guys, welcome back to Yogi Plant. Um, so this sequence today is going to be focusing on glutes and hamstrings and some lower back stuff and some chest openers. So before we get started, I guess I'll just show you what props I have, and then feel free to choose your props as you wish. I did bring my bolster out, hoping that in Shavasana we'll be able to do a little bit of chest opening. That's optional, of course. And then I also have two blocks. So if you have two blocks, it's nice to have it because you might want that. If not, we can work with one as well, but hopefully you have at least one. And just to shake it up a little, today we're not going to be sitting on our block to start off. We're going to be sitting on the floor, if that feels okay for you, in Sukhasana. Sometimes it's nice to try something a little different. The pose will feel a little different to you if you're used to sitting on the block because it sort of tilts your pelvis and your hips up, which gives you that nice opening. However, when you're sitting on the floor, a little bit of a different feeling. So I encourage you to find your center in Sukhasana or easy pose or cross-legged pose. And start your yoga breath. Remembering to pause at the top of your inhales and at the bottom. And if you do have your block handy, we're going to start today's practice with a forward fold. So if you have your block, that's great. If you don't, no big deal. Don't worry about it. We're just going to inhale our hands up. And as we exhale, we're just going to bring our block down in front of us to whatever height feels good for you. Inhale, looking up. And then as we exhale, we're going to fold forward. So some of you might not be using a block. That's fine too. All depends on what sort of space you want to create between yourself and the floor. You might be using the block to rest your forehead on. And you'll find the longer you're in this pose, the further you'll sort of find yourself lowering to the floor. So I invite you to continue with your yoga breath here. Coming to your mat today. Leaving the world behind for an hour. And bringing your attention to yourself. Couple more breaths here. And on your next inhale, just slowly work your hands towards your body, bringing yourself back up to sitting. Coming into your yoga breath. Maybe counting as you inhale, pausing, and counting as you exhale through your nose. Been a little while since we talked about the bandhas. So as you're continuing to breathe, I invite you to bring your attention to your mula bandha, which is it's a block in your lower body in your lower pelvic area. It's a kegel. It's best described as a kegel. And no, you don't have to do a kegel your entire yoga practice. But it is a nice way to find strength in your core when you're looking for it in different poses or postures. And then I invite you to bring your attention to your Uddiyana Bandha, which is your navel area, and a lower abdomen navel area. And you can perform that block by engaging your navel or drawing your lower abdomen in. And then as you exhale, just lowering your chin down towards your chest. Engaging that Jalahara Bandha block. And I invite you, if possible, maybe try all three at the same time. Maybe drawing your breath to the back of your neck there. As you lengthen the muscles on the back of your neck. And on an inhale, looking up. And as you exhale, just tilting your head to the right, maybe dropping your hands down behind your thighs. This is feeling good. You can keep your hands where they are, or you can take your right hand, just maybe put a little weight on your head. I usually have a pretty tight neck, so I wouldn't have to put a lot of weight on to feel this. Working to maintain that Uddiyana Bandha lock. And exhaling your hand back down and just turning your face down to the right. And feeling those muscles on the left-hand side of your neck there. Breathing into that. And on an inhale, coming to center. And as you exhale, just tilting your head to the left. Breathing into the right-hand side of your neck. Feel like you can use your hand, give a little extra weight. No need to pull. And dropping your hand down, exhaling, looking down to your left. And on an inhale, coming to center. And we're going to just start circling our shoulders here. Drawing a big circle, maybe bringing your shoulders up as close as you can to your ears and circling them around. Continuing to breathe and then changing directions. Working through those muscles. And maybe just bringing your shoulders up as close as you can to your ears. And then exhaling them down. Let's do that one more time. We'll inhale the shoulders up. And then exhale our shoulders down. All right, working to maintain that engaged core by engaging your navel. Sitting up straight, allowing your shoulders to drop down your back. Opening up that collarbone towards the ceiling. On our next inhale, we're going to draw in our navel, take our right hand to our left knee, left hand behind us. And as we exhale, we're going to twist to our left. And as we exhale, coming to center. Same thing on the other side, inhaling, drawing in our lower abdomen. Engaging that core, left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. And as you exhale, twisting to your right. And on your next exhale, coming to center. We're just going to open up our sides now. So we're going to inhale our left hand up, palm facing the right. Right hand can be on beside us on the mat. And as we exhale, reaching our right hand towards the right, or sorry, our left hand to the right side. Getting my rights and lefts mixed up here. You can take that the right hand that's supporting you. You can put it behind your back if you like. Asking your core to work just a little harder today. Keeping those sit bones balanced on your mat. Breathing up that left hand side. Actively reaching with your left hand. Inhaling back to center. And exhaling your hand down. Same thing on the other side. Take your right hand, lift it up. Palm facing the left. And as you exhale, reaching with your right hand towards the left side. Your left hand can be down on the mat or behind you. Drawing that energy up your right hand side. From your sit bones all the way up through your core, up through your arm, out your fingers. Feels okay. You could be looking at the ceiling or straight ahead. And on an inhale, coming up. Exhaling your hand down. All right. So if you have one block, make sure it's close to the top of your mat. If you have two, you put them both there. We're going to come into tabletop. Ooh. Double checking your alignment so that your knees are underneath your hips and your wrists are underneath your shoulders. And your spine is in a neutral state here. We're going to inhale, raising our forehead and our tailbone to the ceiling into cow. And as we exhale, we're going to do the opposite, forehead, tailbone to the mat, turning our spine the other way, and continuing along with this rhythm. You do this on your own. Finding that mobility through your spine. Engaging those abdominal muscles in cat. And letting them go as you inhale into cow. Couple more. Doing the yoga crunch. And after your last cat, we'll meet in neutral here, tabletop. So we're looking straight ahead here, being sure that our core is engaged, our navel is engaged. We're going to move into bird dog. So we're going to inhale our right hand up, left foot out behind us. And if it feels okay, we're going to lift that left leg up. Pointing through our toe, our back toes and our front fingers. Drishti straight ahead, nice strong core here. And on an exhale, bring our hand and our knee down. Coming back into tabletop. Same thing on the other side. We're going to inhale our left hand out and right foot out. And if it feels okay, we're going to lift up that right foot. Once again, engaging your core, being mindful in your practice. One more breath here. And we're going to exhale, releasing back down to tabletop. Now we're going to move into puppy pose. So we're going to just take our elbows, put them where our hands were. I'm going to have to actually move this out a little bit. And then we're going to slide our hands out in front of us, maintaining that your bum is in line with your knees, or your hips are in line with your knees. So you can rest your head on the ground here, if that feels okay. Or you can push through your fingertips, raising your head, your forehead up off the mat, not too high. And if your head is off the mat, just lower it down and then bring your hands back into tabletop. We'll find our way into tabletop. And as we exhale, we're going to flip our toes, raising our bum to the ceiling. In our first downward dog. Maybe pedaling feels good. Swaying side to side a little bit. Keeping those fingers spread open. Spread them wide. Your drishti up at your upper thighs. Lifting your tailbone up to the ceiling. And as we exhale, we'll bend our knees. Inhaling, big step forward, bringing your feet to the top of the mat. Exhaling into a forward fold. So here you're going to want to bend your knees so your hands are touching the floor. And then as you're breathing, maybe just straightening your knees a little bit, keeping your tummy on your thighs. Inhaling, coming up halfway into Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling our hands back down, forward fold. Inhaling up all the way to salute. Hands coming together in prayer above our heads. And exhaling down through Samasthiti to Uttanasana. All right, so we're going to, I'm going to turn to face you guys so you can see what I'm doing here. So my feet are about hip distance apart. And I'm going to put my block in front of me in case I need it. We're going to go into a forward fold here, grabbing our elbows. So we're going to inhale our hands up towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to slightly bend our knees. And then we're just going to grab our elbows with either hand here. So you can rest your tummy on your knees, just like you do in a regular forward fold. Don't forget to breathe here. And when I say resting your tummy, it doesn't mean just let it all hang out. It means that your tummy is touching your thighs, but you will be, it's good to engage your core as you're doing a forward fold. It helps protect your lower back. And on an exhale, we're going to bring our hands to the floor. And then we're going to walk them out a little bit. So they're not close to our toes, they're a little bit away. So if you'd like, you can grab your block here, give yourself some space. We're going to inhale looking up. And on an exhale, we're just going to turn to our right. So sliding our block to our right. If it feels okay, maybe just dropping your head a little bit, letting your neck relax. If you feel you're too far up, you can always change the position of your block if you're using a block, or you could be just touching the floor. And on an inhale, we're going to walk to center or sliding our block. And as we exhale, we're going to walk to the left-hand side or slide our blocks. As we exhale, we're going to walk our hands once again to center. This time on an inhale, we're going to bring our hands to our hips, coming up halfway. Exhaling here. And then we're going to inhale all the way up. All right, so I'm going to join you guys at the front of the mat again, keeping my blocks also at the front of the mat. We're going to find ourselves in Tadasana here, grounding through our feet, maybe spreading our toes out a little bit, touching the mat. Inhaling our hands up to salute. Exhaling our hands back down, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Letting those shoulders drop down your back. Exhaling our hands back down to the mat. Taking a step back with our right foot. Keeping that knee stacked over the left. Taking a moment here in low lunge. And then as we exhale, taking that left foot back to meet our right in your version of plank. Holding here for a yoga breath. And on our next exhale, we're going to lower ourselves down, keeping our elbows close to our body. And on an inhale, we're going to come into baby cobra, lifting our forehead and our chest off the ground, pushing through our pubic bone. Exhaling back down. Inhaling up through tabletop and exhaling, lifting our bums to the air into downward dog. Turning those elbow pits out towards the front of your mat. Looking up towards your belly button. Scooching those heels behind your feet. You can see them. On your next exhale, bending your knees. Big step forward. Coming to the top of the mat. Exhaling down, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling down, forward fold. Then inhaling, bring your hands all the way up into salute. Maybe giving yourself an itty bitty back bend here. And then exhaling your hands down through Samastiti to Tadasana. Okay, we're going to move to Sun Salutation B now. Inhale our hands up into salute. And as we exhale, we're going to bend our knees and bring our hands into prayer, coming into chair. Letting those shoulders drop down your back here. Making sure that you can see your toes, just the tips. Engaging your core. One more breath here. And as you exhale, putting your hands on the floor, keeping your knees bent into a forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling, hands back down. Taking a step back with your left foot this time. Coming into a low lunge. Being sure that that right ankle is underneath your right knee. Might have to scooch around a little bit here. Looking forward. And on your next exhale, stepping back with your right foot. Coming into your version of plank. Maintaining your breath here. And as you exhale, lowering down all the way to the ground. Inhaling up into baby cobra. Exhaling back down. Inhaling up through tabletop. And exhaling, bum to the air, into downward dog. Letting those shoulders drop down your back here. Avoid the bunch. Your drishti at your navel. You might try lowering your heels a little bit here. Or you might be bending your knees, which is fine too. And on an exhale, we're going to bend our knees like a frog. And then as we inhale, we're going to step to the front of the mat. Exhaling down, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling our hands back down to the mat. And stepping back with our right foot. Keeping that left knee bent over top of your left foot. And your right foot is behind you, turned out 45 degrees. And as we inhale, we're going to bring our hands to our hips. Coming into warrior one. Your pelvis will be facing the top right-hand corner of your mat. We're going to inhale our hands up. Either in prayer or opening up to the sky. Nice strong legs here. Bring that lower abdomen in. Keeping your upper core strong. Evenly balancing your weight between your 2 feet. And on an inhale, we're going to stand up. Dropping our hands down, we're going to pivot our feet so that both feet are parallel with the mat. Then we're just going to open up our toes to face the two corners of our mat. We're going to inhale our hands up into star. Keeping that core engaged. And as we exhale, we're going to bend our knees, coming into goddess, hands to prayer. Maybe going down a little further if you're feeling like a challenge today. Trying not to lean forward here. I want to maintain good posture. If it feels okay, you can cactus your arms. And on an inhale, we're going to come on up. And we are going to pivot to the back of the mat. So your back foot's going to pivot about 45 degrees. And then your front foot is going to pivot to face the end of your mat. You're going to widen your stance a bit. We're going to bend our right knee over top of our right ankle. Pelvis is facing the top left-hand corner of the mat. And if it feels okay, we're going to inhale our hands all the way up into warrior one on the other side. So your drishti can be up towards the ceiling, or it can be straight ahead if that's feeling better for your neck tonight, or anywhere in the middle. Remembering to drop those shoulders down your back. And on your next exhale, we're going to bring our hands down to either side of our foot. We're going to pivot our back foot so our toes are facing the back of the mat. And then we're going to step back with our right foot. Coming into our version of plank. Holding for a breath here. And as we exhale, lowering down to the ground. Inhaling up to baby cobra. Exhaling back down. Inhaling up through tabletop. Finding our stance here, making sure our alignment's good. And as we exhale, raising our thumbs to the sky into downward dog. At any time, if you feel like you're having some wrist pain, if you're experiencing wrist pain, you can always substitute dolphin for downward dog, or you could do puppy, which we did earlier. Dolphin we did a couple classes ago with our forearms on the ground. So always an option for people who experience wrist pain. All right, on exhale, we're going to bend our knees. Inhaling, walking both feet to the back of the mat. Exhaling down, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling our hands back down. Bending our knees here. Inhaling our hands into prayer. Finding ourselves in chair. Once again, looking straight ahead of us. Dropping those shoulders down our back. And on an inhale, straightening our knees, hands coming up to salute. Exhaling our hands back down through samsthiti, down to Tadasana, either side of our body. Catching our breath here. We're going to move into some standing poses now. So I invite you to find a place where you can see me. So we're going to start with our tree pose. We're going to shift our weight to the right here. And as we inhale, we're going to bring our hands to our hips, taking our left foot to whatever height we want it to be at tonight. I feel like doing just under my knee on my calf. Finding that drishti, a spot ahead of you on the wall here. And if it feels okay, inhaling your arms up to the ceiling. Finding that yoga breath. Maybe exercising that Uddiyana Bandha. And on the exhale, we'll bring our foot down. Maybe shake it out a little bit. We're going to do one more balancing pose. So we're going to shift our weight back to our right foot. And we're going to inhale our knee into our hands. We're doing hands, knee here. Other hand goes to your waist. Keeping that core strong. Feeling free to stabilize yourself on the wall if you like. One of the super awesome benefits of online yoga. And on an exhale, opening up your thigh to the left. And if it feels okay, turning your gaze over your right shoulder. Inhaling our knee straight ahead, gaze ahead. And on an exhale, straightening out our leg, keeping it raised. Both hands at the hips. Exhaling, foot down. Woo. All right, other one. So we're going to shift our weight to our left, hands to the hips, inhaling our right foot now up inner calf or inner thigh, just avoiding that knee. Some people like to bring their hands into prayer. That's another option. And yet another option is to inhale your hands up to the sky. One more breath here. And we're going to exhale our foot down, shake it out a little bit. So we'll do hands, knee on the other side now. So your left hand's on your hip, your weight's shifted to your left side. Inhaling your knee up, catching it with your right hand. Maintaining that yoga breath. And on an exhale, opening up that right knee to the right and shifting your gaze over your left shoulder. Woo, if it's okay for you. And on an exhale, bringing your knee to the center. Inhaling here. And exhale, letting your foot come straight out. Both hands on hips. And exhaling your right foot down. Whew. That was a lot of work. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the end of my mat, which I think you guys are probably at here. We're going to inhale our hands up. We're going to exhale down. We're going to caterpillar ourselves to plank. And on an exhale, we're going to lower ourselves down. On an inhale, we're going to do a little baby cobra here. On an exhale, we're going to come down. On an inhale, we're going to come through tabletop. And as we exhale, we're going to come up to downward dog, but not for long, just for a breath. And as we exhale, we're going to bend our knees. Inhale, big step forward to the front of the mat. Exhaling down to forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling our hands back down. And we're going to take our right foot and step it back behind us. So we're coming into a low lunge. Now we're just going to drop our right knee down. Okay, you can keep your toe beneath your, like you can keep your toes on your mat, or you can keep your foot flat, whatever's feeling good for you, ensuring that your left knee is over top of your ankle. And if it feels okay, we're going to inhale our hands to our waist. If you find you're a little bit topsy-turvy here, one thing you can do is widen your stance. So you can take your foot and just scooch it out to the left a little bit more. That'll give you a little bit better balance. And if this is feeling okay, you can inhale your hands to cactus. And on exhale, bring our hands down. Now we're going to take our foot flat. If you have your block handy or blocks, you can take them now, put them on either side of your foot. And on an exhale, we're just going to straighten our left leg. And you're going to find you have to maneuver yourself a little bit because we tend to lean back too far behind us. So you want to make sure that your hips are over top of your knees here. We're going into half pyramid. We're going to inhale, looking up. If you have one block, you could put your other hand on your shin, like mine's like that. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, folding forward. I have like crazy long arms, so I can touch the ground here. And if you find you can comfortably touch the ground, you don't need to use your block. On inhale, we're going to look up. We're going to take our left hand and put it on the inside. So both of our hands are now to the right of our foot. And we're just going to use our hands for weight. We're going to push our weight into our hands and we're going to move back into onto our knees. We're going to inhale up into onto our knees. I'm having a problem talking today. We're going to move into camel. So we're going to take our hands and place them behind our back here, our elbows facing behind us. And once again, your feet can be flat on the mat, or sometimes it's helpful to have them curled under to provide a little more stability. We're going to inhale, opening up our chest. And as we exhale, we're going to lean back. So camel is an interesting posture because your thighs are pushing forward and your shoulders are pushing back. And you're opening up your chest to the ceiling. So for tonight, we're going to stay in modified camel to ensure that we're safe. This is a great way to build strength to go into full camel. Keeping that core strong, your nice apple core strong. And then we're going to inhale up. And as we exhale, we're going to move into tabletop. Staying here for a breath. And as we exhale, we're going to move back into downward dog. Just for a breath here. Next exhale, bending our knees. Inhale, step forward, bringing ourselves to the top of the mat. Exhaling down, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling back down, forward fold. And then we're going to take our left foot now and step it back, coming into a low lunge. So same thing, check that alignment. Right knees over top of your right ankle. And then you can drop your back foot behind you. So once again, you can have your toe tucked, or you can have it flat on the mat. We're going to inhale our hands to our hips. Feel free to open up your stance a little bit if you need a little more stability. And on an inhale, if you're feeling okay, we're going to inhale our hands into cactus. On your next exhale, we'll bring our hands down. So same thing here. We're going to straighten that right leg. It's a little awkward sometimes to make sure that your hips are over top of your knee here. But once you're in position, if you have 2 blocks, you can grab 2. If you have 1, it will look like this. Inhale, looking up. And exhale, folding forward. And only go as far as you comfortably can. You don't want to push anything here. And on inhale, we're going to raise ourselves up. Take our right hand, put it on the other side of our legs. As we're exhaling, we're going to come to our knees, finding ourselves in tabletop, inhaling. And as we exhale, we're going to drop our bums down and come into child's pose. On the inhale, we're just going to walk ourselves up. We're going to come into staff pose here. You're going to put your feet out in front of you. Engaging your toes, pointing them towards your forehead. Imagining that you have a string, pulling your head up. And we're going to, on next inhale, we're going to bend our knees. And as we exhale, we're going to move into boat pose. So we're going to let our bodies go back a little bit. And then as we inhale, we're going to bring our feet up. So you can hold on to your knees here. You can keep your knees bent. Or you can straighten them if you like. But the key is to keep your back safe by keeping it straight, not hunching over. Exhaling our feet down. Good job, you guys. We worked hard tonight. We're going to move now onto our backs. And we're going to hug our knees in. So keep those shoulders flat on your mat. Coming into, some people call this recline, child pose. Maybe letting your breath soften a little bit here. And on your next exhale, letting your feet fall to the floor, keeping your knees up. You can put your arms into cactus or you can have them straight out into a T. Inhaling, and as you exhale, we're going to let our knees fall to the right. We're going to turn our face to the left. Couple more breaths here. And on the inhale, we're going to bring our knees up, forehead facing the ceiling. And on an exhale, we're going to let our knees fall to the left, turning our face to the right. If you're finding any discomfort here, you could take your block and just place it underneath your knees to give yourself a little extra support. A couple more breaths. On an inhale, we're going to bring our knees up to face the ceiling, forehead also facing the ceiling. We're going to bring our knees in to hug them to our chest. Maintaining your yoga breath here. We're going to take our hands. We're going to move them through the inside between our thighs, and we're either going to grab our toes, the outside of our foot, or our ankles. And as we inhale, we're going to raise our soles to the ceiling into happy baby, keeping our knees bent towards our chest. I have this very bad habit of turning to look at you guys when I do this, and I probably shouldn't be doing that. So keeping your forehead facing the ceiling. Might want to rock a little bit. Do whatever your happy baby wants to do tonight. One more breath here. And as you exhale, you can release your feet. And then you can release your legs and move into Shavasana. If you'd like, you can do a chest opener with me if you have your bolster handy. I'm going to move into that right now, and I will let you know when we're halfway through Shavasana if you want to come out of it or not. So I'm just placing my bolster down at the base of my spine, and then I'm just maneuvering myself so that I'm comfortably resting on my bolster. Whether you're on your bolster or not, just letting your feet fall to either side of your legs, I guess. And your palms facing up towards the ceiling. You could also have your knees bent here. Sometimes that feels really good for your lower back. And when you're ready, letting go of your breath with a sigh. We could do that together if you like. Inhaling. Letting that tongue fall away from the backs of your teeth. If you're on your bolster, you can stay there, or if you'd like, you can come down, move it from beneath you and move into Shavasana. I invite you to start moving your toes, moving your fingers, moving your body how you need to. Maybe giving yourself one last hug. We'll roll to our sides, resting our head on our arm. And slowly bring ourselves up. Dipping. Okay, if you're really enjoying your Shavasana, please continue on. Thank you guys for coming tonight. Peace. Namaste.